Hello, everyone. I believe I am live. I am here in Fortune City, Nevada, ready to Dead Rising 2 Timeskip. If you've seen me run Dead Rising 1 Timeskip, it's more or less the same thing, except now it's in Las Vegas too, because the original Las Vegas got firebombed after it got zombied. So I will stop spinning in place on my skateboard and start a game here. Um, this is my first time commentating over Dead Rising 2 because this came out just about a month and a half ago. So we'll be experiencing this at the same time, I believe. Time is not going to start when I hit new game, but when I skip some cutscenes and gain control in a game show that we're going to be taking part in, there will be a countdown on screen and an air horn, which is mighty convenient for both of us. So this game show we're going to be taking part in is Terror is Reality. Terror is Reality is a game show where we kill zombies for the entertainment of the masses watching at home and the hundreds in the crowd. 3, 2, 1, go. So we need to win this game show by killing as many zombies as we can and getting enough points. If we do not win this game, our level ups will be a bit messed up and we will need to get some XP later. But it's extremely easy to win this game. I'm probably not going to have too much trouble. So instead, let me talk about what this game is. So Dead Rising 1 is a game where zombies run a mall, and it ended up being that the United States government was responsible for creating the zombies because they had a research facility down in South America trying to clone cattle, but instead of cloning cattle, they accidentally made zombies. And once the zombies got out, the United States government had to send in a whole bunch of the army to wipe out everyone in that village. But instead of doing that, they screwed up and then let some people go free. And those people were very angry and then decided to infect random cities in America with the zombie virus. But that's Dead Rising 1. After Dead Rising 1, 2 years after Dead Rising 1, Chuck Green here, who is who we are controlling as the protagonist, was in Las Vegas to run the Las Vegas 250, which is a motocross race, because Chuck Green is an ex-motocross champion. And during the motocross race, zombies got loose there, and zombies killed Chuck Green's wife, and Chuck Green's infected wife infected his daughter, Katie Green, who is going to be a main facet of the game's story. We need to keep Katie alive through any means possible, and she needs Zombrex every 24 hours or else she will die, and that is not good because if Katie dies, Chuck does not have the inspiration to continue life anymore and will just like stop doing the story at some point. Also, Fortune City was built on the ashes of Las Vegas after the United States government firebombed Las Vegas to contain the zombie outbreaks, and then Fortune City got ruined by zombies because building another city on top of a city that was ruined by zombies is usually not a good idea. So midway through our game show Terror is Reality, the zombie outbreak happened, and we need to get Katie to safety. And unfortunately, all these people here are either too unfortunate or too stupid to get themselves to safety. Like poor old Helen here, instead of getting to the exit, which is about 15 feet behind her, she just sort of stands there and waves her arms. I don't know why she does it. The people in this thing could be surviving because this happens 5 years after Dead Rising 1, where zombies are just like a facet of life now. So people know that zombies exist and are a threat, but they don't seem to have wisened up to the fact that standing around and waiting for them to kill you is not a good way to not get killed. Anyway, after going through the arena exit, there is a cutscene where Chuck automatically walks Katie to the Fortune City safe house bunker, which was fortified by the United States government in the event of a natural disaster or a zombie outbreak. Unfortunately for us, we thought we had Zombrex for our daughter, and we don't. So we now need to go out to Fortune City to find Zombrex to make sure our daughter does not turn into a zombie. Fortunately for us, we know of a pharmacy that is on the other side of the area we are in, which is currently the Royal Flush Plaza. We're about to get a phone call in the lower left corner of our screen. If I didn't have an option set to have the ringtone turned off, you would hear an annoying ringing sound throughout the entire run. I will take my thank you in the form of cards and flowers so that this run is not extremely irritating on your ears. Anyway, if you are familiar with Dead Rising 1 speedrunning it, Dead Rising 2 is a little bit of the same. because skateboarding is the main method of transportation, and thankfully for us, there is a skateboard shop right outside of the safe house. Unfortunately for us, skateboarding mechanics are a little bit different than in Dead Rising 1. Dead Rising 1 skateboarding is very rigid. It's very easy to control. You can have more or less exact control over where you're skateboarding, but you just can't control the camera. In Dead Rising 2, you can control the camera wherever you like, but skateboarding in this game is sort of like trying to control a hydroplaning car. It's very difficult, and it's very easy to bunk into things if trying to go around tight corners. Also, these are looters. We'll never see them again. They're around, but we never go into an area where they're important. Also, that's Denise the pharmacist. She was getting robbed by the looters, and we're going to ignore her because rescuing survivors in this game is slow, and we do not need to do that. Although rescuing survivors is the main method of getting level ups outside of using combo weapons, which we will be introduced to later, but will never use. So now we have Zombrex. We will need 4 doses of Zombrex throughout the run. Zombrex is administered every 24 hours to infected peoples to impede the zombification process. Zombrex overdoses are fatal. If you inject Zombrex more than once every 24 hours, you will overdose and die. If you are late by your Zombrex dose by more than an hour, you will also die. So it's a bit of a is it worth staying alive if you have to pay $300 per shot and you have to have these very rigid time schedules? It's a bit of a meta narrative into today's pharmaceutical needs and things like that. Anyway, we will give Katie Zombrex, and then we'll learn that things are even worse than they seem because the next case will start at 7 a.m., which is actually it's about 7:45-ish right now. And we will learn on the news that we are being framed for the Fortune City outbreak. There is supposedly a videotape that was given to the media of us or someone in our jacket that was planting a plastic explosive on the cages to the zombies and let all of the zombies loose into Fortune City. So everyone outside of Fortune City and in Fortune City, except for one person, basically believes that we are responsible for the zombie outbreak. So we need to find a way to make sure that we do not get framed for mass murder and terrorism when we escape. Also, these are combo weapons. Combo weapons are made in maintenance rooms, and you combine 2 regular weapons to make 1 powerful combo weapon. Combo weapons are slow and pointless, and we will not be making any of them ever. I think my skateboards are good. Hopefully I don't lose them by the time case 1 is done. So the next thing we do is we saw a reporter in the Fortune City Hotel live on location, and we need to go find her to help prove our innocence because she apparently knows where the she knows where all of the videotape recordings in the security room are in the Fortune City Arena, and we need her help to get there. In the meantime, I guess I can explain a little bit of what Dead Rising 2 speedrunning has different Dead Rising 1. In a nutshell, everything that Dead Rising 1 did wrong, Dead Rising 2 did right, and then everything that Dead Rising 1 did right, Dead Rising 2 gets wrong. So, for example, I do not need to dismount my skateboard in order to go through door loading zones, which is extremely slow in Dead Rising 1, but is really easy in Dead Rising 2. However, in Dead Rising 2, if I take damage from anything other than a zombie when I am riding my skateboard, Chuck will automatically get back on it and then re-accelerate at max speed, which will cause me to usually bonk and run into things. This can also happen because the game accidentally inputs a use weapon input whenever you take damage, and if you swap inventory slots, that can also mean that Chuck will automatically drink or eat a food item, which is bad because usually I have healing items for a reason. So right now we're waiting for Rebecca Chang, who is the reporter that we saw on the news in a cutscene that we skipped. She is basically a tutorial for teaching us how to save. We do not need to learn how to save, and we can just skateboard ahead of her because she is supposed to show us where the Fortune City security room is, but we already know where it is, so we're just going to go ahead without her. We're going to actually, now that I think about it, there is one clothing option change that we are allowed to take, and I will take it right now. This is the only clothing option change that I can take that will not lose me time, and it is me changing entirely into my underwear. I was told that I think I can't swear, but there is nothing against partial nudity, because this is not actual full nudity. This is just a Capcom reference to Ghouls and Goblins. So actually, we need to wait for Rebecca to walk all the way to this door here. Getting this 4x4 is helpful because the less zombies that are in this area, the less chance she'll get stuck. Basically, this is the exact same concept as escorting Isabella to Carlito's hideout in Dead Rising 1, but it happens at the very beginning of the run, and Rebecca is much less hostile to zombies than Isabella Keys was, so this segment is usually extremely easy. He's honking the horn with his mind. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so let me try to demonstrate one of the glitches that were introduced with skateboarding in this game. If I get it, it is very noticeable. Yeah, it was kind of noticeable. If you skateboard in real life, you know that skateboarding that high is pretty much impossible. There is a glitch in this game where if you... oh dear. I was supposed to get those barricades out of her way, but she's actually going around them just fine. If you perform an ollie when you're about to go up a set of stairs or up a small ledge, Chuck will gain really, really, really high amounts of height. And this is mostly due to me just wanting to have something to do during the monotonous skateboarding segments, but is actually somewhat helpful for avoiding zombies if you're going to run into a giant crowd of them. Thankfully, my skateboard is not going to break anytime soon, so I made a good call skipping another skateboard pickup here. After we see that all of the security guards and all of the security footage were destroyed, and the security guards were shot in the head, which is definitely not something zombies can do yet. Zombies using guns was introduced in Dead Rising 3, not 2. Something's amiss here if someone's trying to hide all the evidence. But that's not for... Oh, we'll find out what that is later. Right now, we need to do a minor platforming section in order to get over to a alcove on the other side of the Americana Casino, which is playing a ripoff of AC/DC's Thunderstruck. You can't hear it until it gets to the part where it gets to the guitar, and you're like, hey, did they get the license for Thunderstruck? And no, they didn't. It's just a knockoff. There's a dose of Zombrex up here. We need 2 more doses for a total of 3, so because the game takes place over 3 days. So we need 4 doses. 1 is at the start of the game, and then there's 3 more later on. I guess a core complaint that a lot of people had with this game is that getting Zombrex for Katie was annoying. But you never need to do anything except for finding Zombrex that's just out and about in Fortune City. You can also buy Zombrex from pawn shops for $25,000 a dose, and increasing for every dose you buy afterwards. Or you can rescue certain people / defeat certain bosses that have Zombrex on them, but we will not be doing any of that because it is slow and you do not need any more Zombrex than we will find laying around in Fortune City normally. So that finishes case 1, and this is where Timeskip comes in. Normally, case 1 would finish around 10 a.m. on September 25th, and now it is 7:30 on September 25th. Normally, we would need to wait around 45 minutes to an hour in order to wait for the rest of the game to progress, but thanks to Timeskip, which was created by a Dead Rising speedrunner called It's Swede, time will automatically fast forward to the next possible case so that we can just complete the whole game in one run without having to wait at all, which is basically makes the game runnable at all. Technically, this category does have a regular any percent category because the last few cases in 72-hour mode happen like as fast as you can complete them, but it takes a 6-hour build up to get there, which is pretty slow, as you can imagine. Waiting 6 hours to actually start a run. But anyway, the next thing we're going to do is Ticket to Ride. So in the cutscene that we skipped, Chuck Green sees a bunch of people moving stuff in the tunnels, and that's the only lead they have. So they're going to go ask these nice people why they're moving things in an underground train. And why is there an underground train in Fortune City where no one has access to it besides for employees and staffers? Because usually giant casinos don't have trains that the patrons can't use. But so we need to go get another Zombrex dose here. Hopefully I don't get... Okay, I didn't get gypped of my skateboarding here, because, oh, you want to get off the skateboard? He just teleported it into his hand. The same principle that makes you able to gain lots of height from going upstairs also works in reverse. If you do a jump when you're going downstairs, you will lose a lot of height, and if you do that jump too late, you bonk into the auditorium stage, and that loses a lot of time. So I need to get going. Another change in Dead Rising 2: going on conveyor belts actually speeds you up when you're not walking, which is good. In Dead Rising 1, if you had a skateboard or a motorcycle on a conveyor belt, it would just stand completely still, which is pretty bad. Also, we're going to run into an optional boss fight here. Ted and his tiger, Snowflake. We're not going to actually defeat this boss. We're just going to avoid it as quick as we can. Ted is not a threat here. Ted is not actually a boss. He just has the AI of a defected survivor. However, Snowflake is a tiger, and usually people do not win one-on-one fights between a tiger unless you're Kazuma Kiryu in Yakuza 2. And we are not Kazuma Kiryu, so we need to run away as quickly as we can. And hopefully not hit too many zombies. Okay, good. If I bonk there at all, I'm basically guaranteed to get mauled by a tiger, and that loses time. Also, it hurts a lot, as you could imagine. Next to the Yucatan Casino is the Palisades Mall, which has the only unlocked entrance to the underground, which was accidentally left unlocked by the people that are downstairs. Up here is my favorite movement in the game. I hope I don't mess it up, because it looks somewhat cool and is the only time I'm actually able to do something relatively interesting with the skateboard. Can I get this? Yeah, there we go. Nice. Anyway, another change from Dead Rising 1. You maintain being on a skateboard and your momentum through cutscenes. So if you don't hold left to there after that cutscene, you will bonk into a wall, and that's bad. Anyway, we saw these people, and as soon as we went down to ask what these people are doing, they started shooting at us. So that's bad. So now we need to start shooting back at them and chasing them on this train in order to ask them some questions, like, why am I being framed for mass murder and terrorism? Because clearly these people have all the answers if they're wearing construction helmets, and their choice of helmet other than that is a beanie. Because, you know, that's regulatory and things like that. Anyway, we have jumped onto the train now. I'm going to rapidly pause and unpause to get rid of a time until military arrives prompt that would block my ADS, which is pretty bad. Oh, there we go. You would think, hey, isn't trigger discipline pretty important when you're firing a fully automatic light machine gun that is meant to be operated off of the back of a truck or like on the bipod? And no, it's not. If you actually demonstrate trigger discipline, you will actually lose time, because if you wait too long to shoot them repeatedly, they will dodge out of the way, and every time they're sidestepping, they will have iframes until the animation completes. So the quicker you shoot them, the better. Also, we missed a cutscene where the host of the game show that we partake in at the very beginning of the game, he was firing a gun at us with his finger behind the trigger without pulling it. So multiple people in this game have telekinetic powers, which is, I think, the most important part to the Dead Rising lore. Anyway, we are going to ignore where the guide arrow is telling us to go, because the guide arrow is wrong. And we need to go this way, to the Americana Casino through the underground. Also, you'll see that there's another 4x4 there, and you're saying, hey, streamer, why didn't you take the 4x4? Doesn't it seem faster than skateboarding? No, it's not. Riding in a vehicle is slower than skateboarding, and I think... Oh. Okay, there we go. No, it's not faster. Also, another change from Dead Rising 1. You can ride your skateboard upstairs, but you cannot accelerate if you are on different heights. If the front and the back wheels are on different heights, you cannot accelerate, which sucks. But you can still accelerate through water and on grass, which is... I'll take that. So now we know that the game show host that we saw that was trying to kill us has something to do with the outbreak. Uh-oh. But we don't know what. but in the meantime, we need to give Katie another dose of Zombrex because it's already been another 24 hours. Can you believe it? Hours are passing like minutes. It's insane. It's like the entire locale of Fortune City is in a time loop. Time warp, I guess? Oh well. Time is a social construct. Anyway, okay. I was about to demonstrate a glitch that happens if you approach that door from an angle where the skateboard just telepathically, like, latches to Chuck's hand, but I actually approached the door from the correct angle that the game wants me to do, so that did not happen. What happens after this? I'm trying to think. I've never actually done commentary for this run, so, this isn't my favorite Dead Rising, and I haven't like played it that much prior to speedrunning it, so I'm trying to think of things that happen in the story after this, because this is a huge mess. After we give Katie this next dose of Zombrex, we hear a giant explosion outside, and we look in the security monitors, which are playback only for some reason, and we see the same nice people that we saw in the underground blowing up the vaults in the casinos and trying to get all of the money inside. So, you know, that has nothing to do with us, right? But for some reason, Chuck wants to go try to stop them because that's relevant to his interests of trying to not be framed for mass murder and terrorism. Anyway, this is a cutscene that introduces queens. For some reason, a concept that was introduced very early in Dead Rising 1 is introduced a third of the way into Dead Rising 2, which is, you know, bad. Also, I need to heal. I'm not going to risk not healing here because I forgot to save. I'll just drink an entire thing of coffee creamer. Why not? I don't want to risk dying here because Dead Rising 2 has a lot more gunplay than Dead Rising 1. Can I go? Why am I not going? I was on a flat surface and pressing X and nothing was happening. Oh, I'm still on the skateboard. I was still on the skateboard while I was being grappled. Okay. I've never seen that before, but I guess you see something new every day. I also had one thing happen where I did like a BLJ style zip upstairs that instantly like got me all the way up the top and bonked me into the wall. So I've never been able to replicate that. So this game has just tons and tons of things that are not supposed to happen that you see on every new speedrun attempt. Okay, a level up. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, that was the worst thing we could have gotten. Cool. So, level ups are a bit of a trip in this game. Instead of what happens in Dead Rising 1, Dead Rising 2 does it more randomly than before. Over 50 level ups, you can have 74 possible rewards for leveling up. You'll notice that I only got one level up, though. You have the random chance of getting either 1 or 2 rewards per level up. And I got the worst possible options. I got a combo card, which is useless to us, and nothing for my second upgrade. So that's the best. That's the worst RNG I could have gotten. The best thing I could have gotten was an inventory increase and a maximum health up. Maximum health is not a big deal in Dead Rising 1 because you don't fight that many enemies besides zombies. In Dead Rising 2, you fight a lot of non-zombie enemies because there are just people with guns everywhere. And usually you don't want to get shot to death in a speedrun. Usually. So we'll try our best to not get shot. My movement here with the skateboard is very important because I didn't get this inventory upgrade. I need these last 2 skateboards to last me for about another 10 minutes in game. And if I'm not careful with my boarding, I will break both of them and I'll have to walk back from case 4-1, which is really slow and loses me like a minute. More people are here in this casino as well. Oh, okay. This gun is actually much better for killing dudes because the spread is much tighter. And it allows me to just bop him in the head a lot quicker. Oh, I need to replace my gun. Also, these people are really dumb. A lot of these people, they have grenades, and more often than not, they will just throw grenades at walls that you're hiding behind. Like, they see you hiding behind the wall, but there is a wall in between you and them, and you've already walked away from the wall. So instead of like trying to throw the grenade around the wall, they just throw the grenade at the wall where you're standing in a straight line, and that usually doesn't hit you, but it blows up another teammate of theirs instead, and that's, you know, team killing. If you're playing CS:GO, you'd be called an idiot for doing that, but in this game, it's recommended that I would want the AI to do that. Also, if you listen very carefully, you'll hear people screaming in the food court because there's an optional boss here that I'm skipping. Do you hear him? No. They are quiet. That is the first time I have heard Jasper and Cinda not scream out for help. The optional boss fight there is Chef Antoine. He is a very notable boss in this game because he breaks physics and is generally very difficult to fight. Thankfully, I don't have to fight him because the rewards you get for fighting him are useless. We have the last casino that we have on our monitor here, the Yucatan Casino. We're back here again. I'm going to try to not get... Oh, there's the grenade. Oh, I need to get away from the grenade. Die? Okay, thanks. I heard another grenade drop. I don't know where it is. Oh, okay, never mind. The grenade, yeah, see, oh, he didn't die. That was weird. Oh? What is all this? What is happening? I need another gun. Grenade. This money is irrelevant, by the way. Dead Rising 2 introduces money as a concept. Money is irrelevant in the speedrun because you never use it for anything. Don't worry about it. I need to break this last power drill. Thankfully, I didn't get a glitch where the power drill's hitbox just disappears. I need to use the LMG here. It's fine. Okay, good. Thankfully, I did not get the glitch that makes the drill's hitbox just disappear. You'll be shooting the drill, and then it just stops doing damage, and it's really, really dumb. Thankfully, I didn't get it, because if that happens, you waste about, like, 20 seconds trying to find where the hitbox went. Cases of disappearing hitboxes usually don't last well in terms of trying to complete the game quickly. Anyway, we have received news on our talkie that the goons have showed up in one last spot outside of the Atlantica Casino. The Atlantica Casino is the only spot in the game where we won't directly go because nothing happens there. That is also a possibility, Drew Babe, especially because the only people selling things in this game are price gouging the shit out of everything because they're selling $300 medicine for $25,000 because you know they'll get a profit out of it. It's not ethical, but you'll have to do what you have to do to survive, apparently. Anyway, hopefully I don't get shot from across the map here. I don't think I'm going to get shot from across the map, because if that happens, that's bad. Okay, that's fine. I need one of my skateboards to break anyway. Well, I don't need it to break, but I need a free inventory slot for a mixed drink I'm going to make. I need to not die here. I'm going to get a level up after I kill all these goons, so hopefully I don't lose all my health too quickly. You know, you'd think that these zombies would go for the closest target, but no. More often than not, these zombies will target you instead. Alright, last two guys here. Good. I got a life up and a... what did I get? A skill move. Okay, those are sort of useless. A life up is better than nothing. Oh, there's still a guy left. Hi, how are you? I would have liked an inventory increase, but a health up is better than nothing. Because having maximum health is good to make sure you don't get killed by a boss, because bosses in this game cannot be done with skill. They have to be done by brute force. That is indeed the most stressful part of the run, because doing this fast requires not healing at all. Because healing is slow. Anyway, now it's 11 p.m. because you'll see it was daytime and now it's nighttime. Anyway, we need to go through all of the peep shows and sex stores because, you know, Las Vegas just has this stuff because it's legal there. Just good on them. But we need to go back into the Yucatan because after we stopped the casinos from being robbed, we received a call from Rebecca Chang, who we interacted with earlier, that she has received a request to have a meeting by the people that supplied the tape to the media of us blowing open the cages. So basically, the people that are framing us for mass murder want to talk with Rebecca and not us. But Rebecca told us about the meeting, and now she wants us to back her up at the meeting in case things go wrong. And, you know, this is our first actual boss fight, so things will go wrong. Also, these are Mega Man slot machines. We can't use them because we didn't turn on the power, which is sad. We need to grab another machine gun here, and we need to go to the Shoal nightclub, which is actually no. We do not need to go to the Shoal nightclub. Well, we need to go there eventually, but not right now. Now we need to go to the Brat house to mix a drink. If I do not mix my drink, the next boss fight is incredibly difficult to impossible. Remember, kids, okay, this mixing these drinks is incredibly particular. You do not want to mix wine and whiskey. Mixing wine and whiskey is bad, but mixing wine and beer is good. Generally speaking, whiskey is like the least compatible liquor for mixing drinks, but beer and vodka do fine. I don't get it. I don't really drink them. I drink rum. You would figure a name like DrunkWario would have a favorite drink, and I do. It's Kraken. It's 94 proof, and it works well with brisk lemonade and Pepsi. We need to drink our quick step here so we can walk quickly through these zombies and make sure that we don't die during the next boss fight. So if you'll remember, while I was talking at the very beginning of the game, we walked past a girl called Amber. Are you playing the game or just commentary? No, I'm doing both. Anyway, remember Amber? Now I have to shoot her with every single bullet in this goddamn gun. Good. So that's how that boss fight goes. I know brisk lemonade is bad. I know brisk lemonade is bad. It's you just have you just have to do what you have to do to make liquor tolerable. Oh, that was weird. I got grappled, but then it immediately stopped itself. I've never seen that before. Anyway, after we killed one of the twins, we actually had two of them at once. However, once you kill one of the twins, the other one commits ritualistic suicide because she can't bear to stand living without the other one. I don't get it, but it just happens, so you deal with it. Thankfully, I don't actually have to kill both of them, because if I did have to kill both of them, I don't know what I would do in a new game run. So after we killed one of the twins, we freed Rebecca Chang and said that she overheard them talking about how the game show host plans to get out of Fortune City by helicopter tomorrow. So we need to go back to the safe house and stand on the roof until we see the helicopter that is supposedly going to be taking the game show host out of the city, because we need to ask him some questions like, hey, why are you trying to frame me for mass murder and terrorism? Why did all of these people die, and why are you trying to pin it on me? It's like, what did I do to you? Uh-oh. Okay, also, speaking of what I'm doing to something, I am just murdering this skateboard movement here. I'm doing absolutely terribly. As long as I don't break my skateboard by the time I get to Royal Flush, I should be fine. Okay, that's fine. Alrighty, so we need to grab a certain thing. There's going to be another boss fight happening when we try to talk to the game show host, and it's not a very easy boss fight casually, but we're a speedrunner. We have speedrun strats, and it is the most nonsensical speedrun strat I have ever seen in a video game ever. Like, I don't even want to even try to explain it now because I want to see how people react to it when I get there. Also, we just walked past an optional boss fight. Carl Schliff, the Postman, he's voiced by the same guy that does Double D on Ed, Edd n Eddy, and he's my favorite boss for that reason. Thankfully, I have to interact with his mail cart in order to actually spawn him, and he despawns all the zombies around his cart, because whenever psychopaths show up in this game, you're clued into their existence by the fact that zombies aren't there anymore, which is pretty nice. So we need to give Katie her third Zombrex dose, so we are going into day 3. And now we are going to fast forward 12 hours. So we fast forwarded 12 hours after we killed one of the twins to 7 a.m., and then we fast forward another 12 hours after we give Katie her third Zombrex dose at 7 p.m. on day 3. And instead of going down there, we need to go up to the roof of the mall, not the roof of the mall, the roof of the safe house. Also, I can't use my skateboard in here, but if I press X, it makes the sound like I can skateboard, but I can't use it though, which is really weird. Like, why would the sound effect for the skateboard play, but not actually let me use it? So this long cutscene plays where Chuck stares at the sky for like 3 hours, and then he sees the helicopter. So now we need to go back to the hotel and stop the game show host from getting away. His name is Tyrone King, by the way. Also, this movement is normal. I just rode the skateboard into the wall, pressed the elevator button, and then he dismounts the skateboard at the same time as pressing the button. That's my second favorite movement in the game, is because it looks stupid. It's like, it looks like you're going to bonk into the wall, but then you just get off the skateboard normally and float down like an angel. Also, that's the Playboy insert. By the way, this game was sponsored by Playboy. There's just Playboy magazine advertisements placed periodically around Fortune City, and they made a Playboy bunny survivor that is always in the safe house, you never interact with, and she is never in any danger. So she actually has the relevancy of Playboy magazine in the internet era, which is basically she's useless. Do I have jump kick? No, I do not have jump kick. Weird. Anyway, let me grab some skateboards here. I still don't have an inventory increase from all these level ups, which is bad luck, but I would expect. Hey, there's our Playboy ad. We can't look at it for too long. This is a friendly stream after all. Family friendly. Family friendly blood and guts, shooting an entire 200 box magazine into a person and watching them bleed to death. So we just picked up a toy spitball gun. Normally, you would use the toy spitball gun for an ingredient in a combo weapon, like the fire spitter, which combines the toy spitball gun with a tiki torch to create shooting spitballs that are on fire. But if you will remember, I said that we will not make a combo weapon at all in the entire run. So I'm going to use this toy spitball gun as is. Also, this is another optional boss fight. The Border Patrol snipers, their goal in life is to eliminate everything that is a threat to their country, including conservatives, liberals, half-ass bureaucrats, which is basically everybody. They want to protect their country by shooting everyone in it. There's nothing like protecting your country by killing literally everyone that lives in it. Anyway, there's more mercs here. I need to not waste too much ammo on my LMG here. Please die. Okay, thank you. I need to go back and pick up my LMG. I needed to make sure I didn't waste too much ammo in it. I got an inventory increase. Thank you, video game. Thank you, video game. I got an inventory increase. Anyway, here's where our toy spitball gun comes into play. So this next boss fight is against the helicopter. Yeah, that's normal, wouldn't you say? So how that boss is supposed to work is that you're supposed to throw stuff at it. Bullets don't work. You need to throw physical objects at it. But spitballs from the spitball gun count as physical objects. So the fastest way to defeat that boss in New Game and New Game Plus is to grab a spitball gun and shoot the helicopter with spitballs until it blows up. Which is, very realistic. Video games need to be very realistic in order to sell well these days. So I'm glad that Capcom Vancouver included this to make it one of the best-selling games of all time. Rest in peace, Capcom Vancouver. I'm sure you were killed by corporate greed. So, the military showed up. So this would be the end of the game, right? Nope. So the military showed up, and all of the people in the military that showed up got killed because as soon as the military showed up, something came from the vents from the underground tunnel. All of this green gas showed up, and it transformed the zombies into gas zombies. Gas zombies are faster, powerful, stronger, have more health, and vomit projectile blood at you. that is apparently so acidic it causes people's faces to start burning. So that's why it killed the military when they showed up. Also, the United States government sent 7 people to help contain the entire zombie infection in Fortune City. They sent 3 trucks. They sent 3 Humvees for people to contain the entire zombie outbreak, and there were only 7 people in the trucks. And no wonder the thing went up in smoke. You know, it could have gone worse. So, am I going for overtime? No. I will explain that when I get to it, though. For the answering the question right now, though, no. So, in terms of the story, standard operating procedure is that when the United States government is aware of a zombie outbreak, they will attempt to send the military rescue in 72 hours after confirmed sighting of zombie outbreak. Uh-oh. Okay, here we go. Well, let's keep going. So after the 72 hours passes, the military showed up and failed. After that, the military will try again in another 24 hours if it looks like there are any survivors left in Fortune City. If there are no survivors in Fortune City, or if the military attempt that happens again in 24 hours fails, the United States government will firebomb all of Fortune City, which will kill us. Also, I got projectile vomited on by a zombie, but it was during a climbing animation, so Chuck buffered the coughing animation out of harm's way, which is, helpful. So after that happened, not all of the army platoon got wiped out. One more dude got left, who is the squad commander. He saw all of his squad mates get killed by zombies. And in the cutscene, you actually see him develop post-traumatic stress disorder, and he is currently in a flashback where he thinks that everyone either is a survivor or a zombie. Rebecca Chang went after him to talk, and now Rebecca Chang is being held hostage by the last remaining army guy, and he thinks we're a zombie. So we need to go, unfortunately, stop him and save Rebecca. Also, this is the hardest boss fight in the game by far. In the run, anyway. Oh. I'm gonna play it safe here. Hello, buddy. Where you going? No! Whoa! That was professional gamer strats. Okay. So that went a lot better than I thought it was going to go. So, what exactly just happened? So Sergeant Dwight Boykin has a little bit of a weird quirk where if you are far away from him, he will attempt to shoot you with his light machine gun. However, if you're close to him, he will attempt to hit you with it and slam you down to the floor, which you will be. When you're on the floor after being hit by him, he will shoot you while you're on the floor and then yeet you across the room. Fortunately for us, if we wiggle back and forth in and out of his melee and ranged attack ranges, he constantly swaps between the animations of going up to hit us and arming his gun to shoot us. So if you just wiggle back and forth in between those ranges, he just stands still and vibrates instead of actually trying to kill you, which is, really good for the speed run. The first route that we did for Dead Rising Timeskip involved making a pair of knife gloves and just trying to brute force him. Thankfully for us, though, I literally just found out that manipulation yesterday while the marathon was going on, and I'm like, hey, this is faster. So now we are currently more than a minute ahead of the record, by the way, which is held by me. I wouldn't even want to call it a world record considering the category is new, but this is actually a personal best by a minute so far. Now that we have Rebecca in our care, Rebecca is actually slightly injured, so we need to carry her back to the safe house. I need to carry her. There we go. That is harder than it looks because if your button presses are not precise, you will accidentally either go back into the 4x4 or you will go into the loading zone without carrying Rebecca. If you go into that loading zone without Rebecca already in your arm, she will spawn standing up. And there is a horde of zombies that spawns immediately behind you when you go through that loading zone, and picking her up causes them to start swarming you. Because all of these gas zombies that have these really disgusting looking, like, open sores on their chests, they are extremely fast. Considering we're low level, we're only just slightly faster than them. And if they swarm us, there is a very high chance I will die. So I need to not let that happen. The movement in this hallway is very particular because we need to avoid the groups of gas zombies that spawned in ahead of us. If we don't do that, you saw me cross the hallway to go to the man sport there. If I didn't cross the hallway there, I would have run right into a horde of gas zombies, and I would probably be dying. Because Rebecca has a broken leg. Also, she's running in heels. I've never worn high heels before, but I imagine that having a broken leg and trying to run in heels is pretty much impossible, given that running in heels is pretty much impossible to begin with unless you're, like, very careful about it. The two other soldiers are there, yes, but we ignore them because saving survivors is slow. Anyway, after we actually, excuse me, let me take a sip here real quick of my water. I did that one-handed. Cool. So after we bring back Rebecca to the safe house, oh no! The entire safe house is swarming with zombies now. What do we do? Literally what Chuck says in the cutscene is, I've got to hack that panel. Chuck sees the zombies swarming into the safe house, and his first thought afterwards is, I've got to hack this panel, which is this panel right here. Because not only is Chuck a motocross expert, he is an expert at hacking electronics. Also, you'll see all these survivors around here. These survivors are basically immortal and will not die unless you take an exorbitant amount of time finishing this case. However, we are not immortal. Thankfully, these zombies are here to actually distract them from us. If you do not get the items on the right side of the screen as they are listed, thank you for hitting me, Anim. If you do not get the items as they are listed on the right side of the screen, the zombies will not have time to be aggroed by survivors and will instead aggro on you, and you will probably die if that happens. Also, you saw Terry, the girl that was wielding a sledgehammer down there. She's actually not supposed to be here. Case 6-4 in this game is notable because you can cause 2 time paradoxes that are not handled at all by the game. The game just ignores that they happen. One is that Terry can die before this case happens, and then when this case happens, she will just magically come back to life. And also, these 2 survivors up here, Skylar and not Stacy. There was Skylar and I think her name is Teresa. These survivors can be killed in this case mission, and if you get ending S, they will just come back to life and be in a cutscene, which is, you know, normal. Anyway, now we've gotten all of the things we need to hack this panel, so we're going to hack the panel now, which is literally just spamming the A button. If you don't spam the A button fast enough, you'll get knocked back to the wall and take damage, so we need to make sure we spam A as quickly as we can. It's not that hard, but better be safe than sorry, right? So now we're going to jump around a bit, and that is case 6-4. So, why I keep rapidly pausing during the menu screen is that for some reason, like, there's one frame in between when the cutscene starts and when the case menu disappears that you can successfully pause the game, and it's annoying when it happens. Anyway, case 7. Case 7 is when we learn that the United States government believes that there are no survivors left in Fortune City, and they have plans to firebomb the city in about 19 hours. So that's bad. Oh, 20 hours. That's right. I'm ahead. I'm ahead. Usually it would be 19 hours with the rate that I was going with the slow Boykin fight. So, we need to go underground and find what is going on with all of the gas zombies in the game trying to go to a certain spot in the underground. I need to get some more skateboards. I also need to get some food. Oh, wait, no. There's a hot dog right here. me eat this hot dog. Delicious. Anyway. There's going to be more gunfights up ahead. I want to not be at not full health because these people are extremely far away from me when I spawn in and have very high accuracy weapons, so I need to make sure I don't die. Also, another good thing about Dead Rising 2 as opposed to Dead Rising 1, if you are quick enough with being grappled and completing the QTEs, you cannot take damage. It still adds to Chuck's fatigue meter, but he does not take damage if you complete the QTE fast enough. Like that. Okay, we need to get going. Also, the guide arrow is telling me I'm going the wrong way. It's normal. The guide arrow is wrong. The guide arrow is always wrong. Alright, I need to have my 2 skateboards last for the rest of this case, so I need to be a little bit particular here. So what happens right now is that there was an area in the underground that we could not get to because there was the keypad lock. For some reason, the keypad lock is just free now, so we can go see where all of these gas zombies are like naturally being corralled into. We need to go through here. The guide arrow is still telling me I'm going the wrong way, but I know in fact that I am going the correct direction. For some reason, the guide arrow tells you to go into the underground from the furthest spot from where you're actually supposed to go. I don't get it. Maybe Capcom Vancouver had the path set up to take the long way or like most safe way, but we don't need that. So you'll see a sign, 2 central HVAC. Usually casinos don't have HVACs because I don't know what an HVAC is. It probably stands for something. Also, these gas zombies don't care about us. And I need to skip some cutscenes here, and we will be in the HVAC after these cutscenes end, and we need to kill some more mercs. And these ones are really far away, so they're sort of hard to kill. Headshots do more damage than body shots, but I can't really aim for the head with this weapon, considering Chuck is not a firearms expert. He is just a motocross and hacking expert. I need to eat this hamburger real quick. Tasty. And you need to kill... Oh. That sounds like a grenade, but it's not. It's fine. Okay, we're good. And we need to grab one more gun because you need to kill some more dudes that are at the end of this hallway. Please listen to the enjoying weird sound effects that I don't exactly know what they are. Anyway, boss fight. Very hard boss fight, as you could tell. So now, during that cutscene, we've learned that the company that is behind the true culprits behind the outbreak are the pharmaceutical company that makes the drug Zombrex. The reason why this outbreak happened is because they needed the parasite that causes zombification, which is a queen. It has some weird Latin name that I don't... But they need the parasite that causes the infection in order to make the drug that helps stop the infection. And in order to actually continue making the drug, they need zombies. So they caused the Fortune City outbreak in order to get more supplies to make the drug. And we have the proof on a laptop that we have in our inventory, which clearly is stored in our boxer's pocket. I need to grab more skateboards over here, by the way. Otherwise, I'm going to be in a very bad shape trying to get back to the safe house. Because if I don't have a skateboard during this part, the movement is a bit difficult. I think I'm good. Alrighty. Oh, I tried to jump over the railing and failed. This is the only time we spend in the Palisades Mall directly. It's a very nice looking mall. It would look a lot better if there wasn't this ugly green haze going around. Generally speaking, I don't really know any casual players of Dead Rising 2 that enjoy this part of the game because it ruins the ambiance and it generally makes the game like harder, which is fine, but it doesn't make it interesting hard. It makes it boring hard because you have to just run away from everything because your combo weapons no longer kill these gas zombies in one hit. Because that's supposed to be what this basically is. It's supposed to be like a... I don't want to say it's more like supposed to be a power fantasy, but I think if you had like this giant like lightsaber or a lawnmower motor duct taped to some 2x4s that you put on your head and just run around with a lawnmower blade spinning around on the top of your head, killing zombies by just running into them. And you just can't do that anymore. I think that sort of ruins the fun of it. Anyway, we will be heading back to the safe room to show Rebecca Chang our evidence, and she has a phone that she will use to contact her news station, because she is a reporter. She will use her phone to contact the news station and have them send rescue choppers to get everyone out before the firebombing. Because along with the laptop, she also, along with the laptop, Chuck also found a cell phone in the possession of the scientists that we killed. By the way, they would have shot at us if we didn't kill them, so it's not really an act of self-defense. Or it was really an act of self-defense, excuse me. We also grabbed the sniper rifles for the final boss, who is has yet to be revealed. And also, I'm sorry I keep forgetting to explain things, but the host of the game show, after we stopped his chopper from getting away, we chained him up in the safe room clinic. And during the part of the game where the safe room got breached by zombies, the game show host got out and he got infected. So now the game is giving us the option to give Zombrex to the game show host. If we do give Zombrex to the game show host, he will live through the finale of 72-hour mode and enable overtime. If we do not give him Zombrex, which we are not going to do, it causes ending A, which ends the game prematurely. But this is the only game in the series where overtime mode is not the canon ending. So we are technically getting the canon ending, which is faster. So after we handed in our evidence to Rebecca, someone who I haven't mentioned at all, Raymond Sullivan, who was the only member of Fortune City Police, I guess, and who is a member of the Department of Homeland Security, who was the only one to make it to the safe house when the outbreak happened. He shot Rebecca in the head and almost shot us and our daughter. But our daughter distracted him, and we were able to knock the gun out of his hand. And now he's running away with that we did not cause this, and we need to stop him. Because the Department of Homeland Security agent is actually a plant by the pharmaceutical company to make sure that everyone that was a core member of the outbreak would not survive Fortune City. So his goal was eventually supposed to, if we did not die in the outbreak, his job was to kill us. And he is going to try to do that when we confront him once and for all. Oh, and by the way, Chuck Green lost his wife in the Las Vegas outbreak. And his daughter got infected in the Las Vegas outbreak by his wife, who was a zombie. The pharmaceutical company also caused the Las Vegas outbreak for the same purpose, but it was not known at the time. Also, I have no skateboards, so I need to run there, which is fine. We need to go to the Yucatan Casino's elevators, which are at the restroom here. And once we go through the elevators, the area is too condensely packed with zombies in order to skate through it properly. Please stop hitting me. We need to grab some steak here, because steak is a really good healing item. Also, there's a Mask of Blanca from Street Fighter. I'm sure you enjoyed that cameo. So this area of the game is technically accessible early if you position a motorcycle next to the elevator and glitch your way into the elevator. But if you glitch your way into the elevator and into this area, you cannot access the final boss until the game allows you to. So unfortunately, We could skip the entire game and go straight to the final boss, if not for one loading zone check that is not there until the very end of the game. Also, remember how I said Dwight Boykin was the second hardest boss? Or I said he was the hardest boss and then corrected myself. This guy's the hardest boss, because Sullivan knows hand-to-hand combat very well. He has an uppercut that will knock you down to critical health every time. Uh-oh. Let me eat my lobster. So, not only that, he also sends flares from a helicopter circling the area to blow open holes in the roof. And if you try to use melee weapons on him, he'll just grab them out from your hand and then throw you off. Also, I need to position myself very carefully here. Uh-oh. Stop. Okay, we're good. Where are you, Sullivan? Oh, this positioning is bad. There we go. Now we got it. Time is when he screams in pain instead of insulting me, which is when I shoot him 20 times with a 50 caliber sniper rifle. When I hear him scream, I will unscope, and then you will see him fall to the ground, and that is when time will be. Unfortunately, they don't teach people when they're being shot at the Department of Homeland Security, because, you know, that's just supposed to be an innate human skill to know when you're being shot. But he thinks we're not shooting him, which is, you know, fine. Hey, we're time. Oh, no, wait. Not time. Sorry. That's time. My sniper rifle broke, and I'm like, hey, that should be it, right? Nope, I missed one shot. That's time. Nice. Also, while it is time, it is not the final split. That's the final split on the timer, but the final split in-game...
We're the good guys, Chuck. Not you.
is this. He literally gets torn in half by a Fulton extraction because Chuck just handcuffs his belt to the railing. Anyway, in-game time was a 48:56. Without loads, it's a 48:56. With loads, it was a 1 hour 19. World record before this was a 49:29, and world record times are determined by times without loads. So this is a world record time by 32 seconds. Although personally, I'd like to call it a PB instead.
You want the scoop of a lifetime? There's a bunker full of survivors in Fortune City.
There is a bunker full of survivors in Fortune City. Normally, you would be out rescuing people. There are like 54 optional survivors you can rescue in this game. And if there were around 60 people in this bunker, I think it would be more of a worthwhile effort. But since we didn't rescue anyone, there's probably like 7 people that we can rescue, which is still worth it. But, you know, 7 people isn't really a full bunker. Unfortunately, we can't skip this cutscene to show the end credits. The end scene here is Stacy Forsythe, who is a member of the activist group Citizens for Undead Rights and Equality, who I didn't talk about at all. She was here the whole game taking care of Stacy and telling us about case information. Katie drops her backpack at the elevator. That is the Deus Ex Machina as to what causes Chuck to not survive this ending, air quotes. Because this is the canon ending, but after this, Frank West shows up and helps Chuck not die in the elevator to go get Katie's backpack, which is the Xbox 360 exclusive post-campaign Case West. There is also a prequel to this game, but not Dead Rising 1, which is another Xbox 360 exclusive DLC chapter called Case Zero, which takes place in Still Creek 2 years before this game, when right after the Las Vegas outbreak occurred, but that's a whole mess. That is not on PC, no. Case Zero and Case West are exclusively on Xbox 360 and have not been ported. So they'll probably never be ported at this rate. Also, that's the game show host. He's a zombie now because we didn't give him Zombrex. If we gave him Zombrex, this cutscene would play out differently because he would end up kidnapping Stacy and Katie because he's a dick. But this cutscene does not end as you think it does. There is an end text crawl that says how Chuck Green apparently didn't make it out. I have played them before. It's just that I can't play them. Well, I could play them on stream. It would just be a matter of capturing it, and it's a bit inconvenient to just drag out the 360. Anyway, that is it for me. I will not hog any more of the microphone and the valuable time of the good people here. Thank you very much for having me. I speedrun this game, Dead Rising 1, Wario Land 3, and Tetris the Grandmaster, if you're interested in following me at twitch.com/DrunkWario. And that's all I got. Thank you very much for having me. Peace.